So welcome to G50RC again. We're working on the Haganine MB339, trying to get it back into flyable condition after the catastrophe. For the first time ever, I decided to charge a LiFi battery while I was in the jet because it was a pain to get out. Instead of putting it on balance charge, we stuck it on just general charge and we overcharged it. Set the whole front end of the fuselage on fire. Torched the landing gear controller and one receiver. And basically ruined one nose piece. It was pretty catastrophic at the time. I made the mistake of using a dry powder fire extinguisher rather than a CO2 in a mad panic because it was in the garage. So all this section got full of the powder from the extinguisher, and it kind of went down here also into the turbine. Stupid me, I decided not to test the turbine or clean it straight away. So all that residue from the powder kind of builds up, clogs up, and turns really stiff and sticky. So now the turbine won't start. I think the bearings have all the powder inside there because I blew down there and up the exhaust duct. So it just went straight through. Not while it was running, but either way. The turbine won't turn properly now, it's a bit stiff. So we've sent that away for repair. I should have sent it weeks ago when this happened. But you know how it is. So that's gone away now and we'll see how it comes back from Kintec. I think it will just need new bearings. I also burnt the nose gear servo, the nose gear retract motor was trashed, but luckily I had a spare that I purchased from RC Groups a while ago. So that's a replacement. It's the newer version, whether they call it the V2, I don't know. But this time we've gone from Spectrum to Jetty, so we've got the Central Box 220 and two Rex 7s, a Cortex Pro. We have my 3D printed UAT holder, so now it's on an angle, a landing gear. And I bought big batteries. I bought two batteries for the receiver. One of them splits off to go to the landing gear controller, but the central box has two power inputs, there and there. And I split off one of the power inputs to go to the landing gear controller from JP. So hopefully this will be a lot better. And we've got a brand new LiFi battery for the turbine because that was the one that set on fire. And we had blue flames up here. It was terrible. Thank God for smoke detectors. And luckily I was in the house. If I wasn't in the house, we could have burnt the house down. So the improvements this time are the jetty system. I've moved things around a little. I've remounted the stop valve to a better position. I've got an angled UAT holder, whereas before I had the UAT back there and it was flat as per the manual. So that's the upgrade there. I bought the bigger batteries. I didn't really need 40, well, what are they 4,000 milliamp per hour, two of them. I don't need that many, but it saves me putting weight in the front. This balances it out perfect. Two 4,000s, 2S, and one 3S LiFi for the turbine. And then we get perfect balance without any extra weight. So I think after someone sent me this front end from Facebook, free of charge, can you believe that? A really nice guy offered to send this new nose piece rather than me having to wait until October for new stock to come in. And then there's a chance it's not available from Horizon Hobby. You know, they're just so delayed at the moment with things going on in China and Asia, the import duties, etc. Everything's delayed. And also the shipping channels being closed for a while. So this has got me going. I may try and repair that one, but I'm not sure. But this guy sent me this free of charge, just pay for shipping. So that's amazing. I melted my M speed sensor as well, but it still works. I melted the controller a little bit, but I've tested it out and it still reads correct. So we're all good there, and it's not critical, so if it fails, it fails. So I think we're pretty good. Oh yeah, my Savox servo for the nose gear. It got so hot here, it seized up recently. So I've ordered another one of those that's coming this week. And would you believe it? I haven't even flown this thing yet. I've had it for over a year and I've never flown it. So now we've got the turbine waver sorted out. We've flown the Skywing 2.1 a few times. I think this is the time to get the MB339 out. And that's just a protector for when it's in the bag for the M speed sensor. Managed to get all the dry powder out of here. Excuse me. Everything's running off Savox servos, or Savox, depends where you're from. What else is there in here? It's worth looking at. I've put an extra few loops in for the vent line because I had just one loop in and it was constantly popping liquid out. So I'll put this in there now and that stopped that. I know it's a little bit bulky, but it works fine. It's a nice way of venting. And I put some quick release connectors on the wings. Excuse me. These are pretty good. Plus, one thing I did do was I tapped out the holes for the wing retaining bolts. The wing retaining bolts are made out of plastic, so they tend to cross thread when you screw them into the wings. So on the wings I tapped them out to make sure the holes are super clear, and that solved that problem. So now they're going nice and easily, do the wing bolts, which is pretty nice. I also moved the filler from here just to inside. I'm going to mount it somewhere in here. It's just easier. I know I could get the dry brake fittings, but really we don't need them. So we're looking forward to this. So it's a KingTech 85 G4 in this one. And while we're here, you can have a look at the Viper 90. The Viper 90 is a fun old jet. I decided to convert it to turbine. I have an Avanti Mini as well, but I converted this one, laser cut the parts out inside, blocked off the front nose gear hole because grass comes up here from the nose gear when you're landing if you're on a grass field. So this is great. I cut the hole all the way through here for the battery to go in there for the turbine. It goes all the way down to about here, even though that's removable. And then I have two 2S here, one for the landing gear and one for the receiver system, which is now jetty as of last week. So everything is going to cost a jetty. And I'm using the Potenza Aura 8 because I just like these. And I had one spare. I didn't want to buy a jetty assist just for this, even though I use jetty assist in everything else. I was getting some voltage errors on this thing. When I was putting down the landing gear, I was getting voltage drop. The lights kind of flash when you put the landing gear down initially. So I decided to go for 2 separate ibex, or ubex, shall I say. Those are 3 amp a piece. One's for the landing gear and one's for the receiver system. So it's got the KingTech 45 G4. We've got a V-Speak module in there so I can read the turbine information. Got the ECU hidden down there. It's a bit of a mess in here, but we're short of space. The UAT fits nicely. Super well balanced. We've got brakes on there now. I got these from, I can't remember the guy's name online now, who makes the kit for the upgraded wheels for these with the brakes. I'll post that on the YouTube video when I get it. Got the vent through the bottom, which fits in there nicely. Oh, there seems to be a bit of distortion there, but that's probably from the transportation methodology. I've cut out so much foam out of this thing. Everything's a bit flimsy on these foam jets when you start converting them over. I put a mesh from Amazon to stop any FOD going in there, so you've got a FOD screen, I guess. It's the same on both sides. And we cut out there, so out the cockpit, so we can see the aura mode. Make sure we're in the right mode. You can see what's going on. That looks pretty good. But that's that video's for another time. We need to do a maiden on that very soon. I had problems with this one because as I converted it over, I didn't realise, or I forgot, that the servos were not high voltage. They were digital, but not high voltage. So I was using the 2S, and I just kept burning servos out while I was testing. So that's why I put the UBEC in initially, to kind of drop the voltage down to just over 5.5. So now they're working fine as they would with the output from a standard electric ESC from the EDF. And I have an EDF version also. So this is like it's a fun toy backup. It's a lot heavier, but it's well balanced. CG is dead center. So we've got that all set up, that's ready to go. But the main offender here is this MB339. I really do need to get this maidened. One other modification I've got, after waiting for these bags for so long, from Hangar 9, or from Horizon Hobby. Let me open these up and show you what we've got in here. Give me a moment. I did a little modification on this. Yes, everybody will say, well, why don't you keep the wingtip tanks on there? Well, they're a pain in the ass. So, because they come all the way out each side. So we took the wingtip tanks off because I just kept damaging them. I printed this kit off that someone put online. 3D printed it. 3D printed the clear lens. At some point I can put an LED behind there, a flashing one or a fixed one. I've also stuck on here some of these lights from Amazon. I couldn't be bothered buying the Unilight kits, or candy light, whatever they call them, when you can just get these. I just stick them on the end. They're rechargeable. I've got red and green, and I've got a white one stuck to the front landing gear. Much cheaper, about $20. So we'll go with that. And these are so damn bulky. I haven't even flown it yet. And look at the damage. I keep damaging them all the time when I'm moving them around and putting them in the trailer. So I just need to get them used. But this will be a lifesaver. I think it'll fly the same. So that's my upgrade.